Guys, welcome back to my videos. I'm Victoria and I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm very excited about this one. We're going to read and wrap up. This is about all the books that I read. I will tell you guys if I recommend it, if I don't, if I like it, what I didn't like, and everything about it. I hope you enjoy it. Let's talk about June's stats. I read 10 books, which 7 were romance, 2 thrillers, and then 1 fiction. It's 4,047 pages, and my average rating was 3.925, which is, it's alright. I'm happy with it. Oh, I forgot my Kindle. The first book that I read in June was 7 Days in June. I read it while I was on my trip in New York, and I read it on my Kindle. This book was fun to read while in New York because it does take place in New York, and I just love the New York setting. Reading a book that just takes place in New York while you're in New York is just, it just makes sense. And I also love that it took place in June and it was just 7 days. 7 Days in June, I give it a 4 stars. This is a second chance romance. It follows 2 writers and they knew each other when they were like in school, and they fell in love in like 7 days, and then they stopped talking. They didn't know what happened between them after those 7 days. And then, but they're writers, so they write about them in their books, and no one knows but them. No one even knows they knew each other. It's not only about the romance and everything, which I really like. I like their chemistry and everything, but we also get like how they evolve, how they are as a person now, and how they've matured. It was not only about the romance, it was also about the characters and how they're being better now in the present timeline. And in the present timeline, they reunite and at a literary event, which was so fun reading about that. I really like reading about writers and reading just how their mind works and everything. I enjoy that part as well, and seeing them in the past timeline and now in the present timeline was so fun. The only thing that I didn't like about this book was actually the ending, like the epilogue was not my favorite part. Like I said, I enjoyed most parts of the book, which is why it's a 4 stars. And I think these characters, I also love how the book also tackles motherhood, um, being a black person and everything in the writing community. I really enjoyed that part. And yes, it was a fun book. It was a fun read, that which I enjoyed a lot. Then I read Drive on my Kindle again. This is the 4th book in the Addicted series, and this one was not my favorite of the whole series. But I do get that this book was like necessary for like their story. The thing with this book, it was boring for me, and in most parts I was just trying to like read so fast because I was bored throughout the book. I still love Lily and Lo. In this book, we're following them throughout the 2 years from the other Calloway sisters books, which is Field the Fire and A Hot House Flower, I think it's called, those books. We're following them, like this is their point of view while the events of those books are taking place. And I already knew what was going to happen, but I really enjoy being in their heads and like having their perspective. Again, it was still a little bit boring because I knew what was happening from the others' point of views. So excited to see Lily and Lo being parents, and I want to see how they're going to tackle all of that, how they're going to just grow. I want to see their happy ending because I love them so much, and I gave this a 3.5. Like I said, I still love them. It's just I was just bored. Then I read The Hotel Nantucket by Ellen Hildebrand. Oh my god, this was such a surprise because I didn't know I was gonna like this book so much. I gave it a 4.75. I love Ellen's writing, which was so captivating. It was easy to read book and such a fast pace. You just wanted to know what was going to happen. This book follows Lisbeth, and she's just out of a long-term relationship. They're renovating the Hotel Nantucket, and she gets a job as a manager. And oh my god, it's not only about the renovation of the hotel, it's also about Lisbeth's life. It's also about every single person that works at the hotel's life. It's also about the guests that are living in the hotel, not living but like staying there. If you're in a reading slump, I think this book is such a good book to like get you out of it, because like I said, fast paced, easy to read. The mystery is gonna keep you going, because there's also like about something about a ghost in the hotel, but that we're going to discover what's her story throughout the whole book. And we're also getting gossip from the people of the town. We're also getting gossip from the people that are working there, that are staying there. This was such a fun read. This is just the perfect book for the summer. I feel like I knew these people since like forever, and obviously I didn't. I was just reading about them. And I also love like the hotel renovation was the perfect tool for bringing the whole drama, the whole mystery. Everything was so good about this book. I couldn't keep this book down, and this is just the essence of summer. This gives you the essence of summer. I felt like I was in the hotel. I just I love this book so much, and I will definitely be reading more by Ellen Hildebrand, because such a good read. If you get one thing from this video, is that you should read this book. I read Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. This is her newest book, and I read it in a sitting. I didn't know I was going to like it that much because I heard mixed reviews about this book. I was a little bit scared going into this book. I gave it 4 stars. I think Ellie Hazelwood just knows how to do it. This was such a fun book to read about. I think the mixed reviews said it was more like her spiciest book, which I thought it was going to be no plot, just like that, which wasn't the case. This had everything. This had the spicy, which it is her spiciest book, but that didn't take away from the plot of the book. I just love that she always adds the science subplot, and it always keeps me entertained. I love that so much about her books. And I also love the character development. Reasons why Rue wasn't like interested in relationships, and it made sense. This book, there were no things that bothered me about this book. I just enjoyed it so much. And he was boy obsessed, and I love when they're obsessed. It was There's a quote about this book which I love so much. I forget to look at other things when you're around. I love that. This book follows Ruth. She's a biotech engineer at a company, and she's in a stable life. She's living the best life, being so simple. She just needs her friends, her work, and everything. She doesn't want relationships. She doesn't want anything really. Eli or Ellie, I don't know how to pronounce it, or Eli or Ellie, I don't know. He's trying to take over that company that she works for, but the thing is that he met her the day before that he was going to like take over, and like I said, he is obsessed with her, and he's like, oh my god, but he needs the company for other reasons that I will not be saying. And they have this attraction that they can get over. They're just so attracted in their chemistry. I love their chemistry. I love their banter, and the tension between them was one of my favorite parts about this book. I just enjoyed it so much. And then obviously he has to like, he's torn between like, what I do, I want the company, but I also want the girl. So we're having this conflict of like the whole subplot. I really enjoyed that part about the book. So you should read this book. Then I read Darling Girls on my Kindle. This is on Kindle Unlimited, and I was so intrigued by the whole premise of this book. I give it a 4 stars, and it follows 3 sisters, and they get a call from a detective saying like, we just found something at your old house where they live. They were raised in foster care, and throughout this whole book, this is a thriller. The thing that I enjoyed the most about this book was that we also get so much backstory about these girls and their lives in the foster care with their foster mom. They have a really tough relationship with their foster mom, and we see the views and everything. Check trigger warnings for this book because it has some graphic things. I enjoyed that we got to know them, which is something that we usually don't get on thrillers. We actually don't care about the characters on thrillers, and this one I really care about them, which was what I like about this book, that we got to know about them and how it affected them. So they have to go to the town, deal with everything. Maybe they're a suspect, maybe they're not. I love also the plot twist of this whole book. It had me shocked. I thought I guessed it till the ending. It had me shocked. I think this one could be one of my favorite thrillers, and it was fun to read during the summer. I don't know why, but it just gave me the summer vibes. Then I read The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren on my Kindle, and I gave this a 3.5. It wasn't my favorite Christina Lauren book. It's my second Christina Lauren book. But we can say that because I read Love and Other Words, which was a 5 star. This one was not my favorite. I don't know why, but I had quite expectations with this one. And I think that's what kind of left me down, why I didn't like it that much, because I was like waiting for something so good. I was expecting more Love and Other Words, and it wasn't. And yeah, this book follows Anna and Liam. They got married years back because they wanted something for housing, but then they got divorced, supposedly. But then Liam shows up, I think 3 years later, which is the present timeline, and it's like, I need your help. We never got divorced, and I need you to go to this island with me, and you need to be my fake wife in this vacation. That's basically it. I love the setting. The private island was, it was giving the summer vibes, and we love the summer vibes. Um, my problem with this book is actually that I don't even remember what my problem with this book was. I was enjoying it so much throughout the beginning of the book, but then in the middle and the ending, it fell flat for me, kind of. The whole conflict with Liam's family and everything, and how Anna reacted to that, and the third act conflict just made me so annoyed with the whole book. I don't know why, and she just said some things that I didn't like, and I get why she was saying them and everything, but at the same time it just felt too much and too harsh. It was just an okay book for me. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't my favorite either. I enjoyed the characters. They were average. They were just the bare minimum. And my favorite part was the whole drama with the family. That thing, I enjoyed it so much, and like how they had to like work it out and pretend and everything. I enjoyed that part so much. It was so funny. But yeah. Then I read Pretty Girls by Karen Slaughter. I read it on Audible. I enjoyed the audiobook so much. It was, the book was fast paced. It was terrible in the sense of the things that were happening. Was so graphic, but that didn't take it away from the book. I enjoyed it so much. I just love this type of book. This is a serial killer, and let me tell you what this is about. This is about a young girl that's killed years ago, and then the pattern starts repeating, and we're following the sister of that girl that disappeared years back, and how the pattern starts, and how the pattern starts again, and they're investigating. We're following her sister and everything, but I don't know what else to say because I don't want to spoil it too much. I think like this is a type of book that you should go in blind, but please check trigger warnings because it is very graphic and descriptive. I enjoyed it. The plot twists were so plot twisted, and the audiobook was such a fun thing to listen to. It had me thrilled. I couldn't stop listening to it. I really liked the narrator. That's why I say it was a terrible read, in the sense of it's just terrible what was happening and disturbing. But if you like those type of books, you should read it. Then I read Same Time Next Summer. 4.5 stars. This was such a good book. This is by Annabelle Monaghan, and I never read a book by her. but now I can't stop. I need so many books by her because I love the writing. The writing was exquisite, but exquisite in the type of that is so simple, but so beautiful writing, which I enjoyed so much. The pace of this book was incredible. I couldn't put the book down. I needed to know what was going to happen. And I think there's a theme throughout her books that I've been enjoying so much because I read another book by her this month and I will be talking about it later. There's a theme in her books about loving simple things in life. It's not only about having the best job or having the best salary or having just the best life. There's something about living life so simple just with the people that you love. And I just enjoyed how wholesome and everything this concept is. And I love how Annabelle writes about it because it's like, I want that life too. I just want to enjoy life. And that's what this book made me feel. And it just made me feel so many things while reading this book. I love the past timeline. This is a childhood friends to lovers, second chance romance. And I just love those because they're so wholesome. And I just love the sense of someone knowing you your whole life, loving you basically for forever. I love that. This follows Wyatt and Sam, and they knew each other because they were neighbors in their summer house, and they basically spend their whole summer in together as friends, and I love that so much. It's just reading the past timeline about them and getting Wyatt's story and how they fell in love when they were kids and teenagers. I love it so much. And the present timeline, we have Sam. She has her life together. She's getting married, but she goes back to the town where she was friends with him, with Wyatt. And being back in that town that she hasn't been in so long is just making her realize that she's not living the life that she wants. She's not actually happy. And she's practically pleasing her fiance and just doing things for him and whatever he likes, not living her life or doing things that actually make her happy, which I enjoy that she realized that and how she fixed everything. It was not only about being with Wyatt, but also being by herself and being happy. And this book is such a short read that you can read in a sitting on a beach. It's just, I think I'm in love with this book. I haven't stopped thinking about them. Then I read Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher. I was so excited for this book because Love for Design is one of my favorite books of 2023. And I love Lauren Asher. Most of her books are 5 stars for me, which just tells you something. And I was so excited for this one, but this one kind of felt repetitive, too long, and boring for me. The beginning, I think, is like until 60% of the book that starts like picking up, and that's when I started liking it a little bit more. I give it 3 stars just because of that. And I just didn't like how mean he was at the beginning, and I get that why he was mean. I do get it, and they have to like make the character development. I do get that, and I enjoyed it in most of books, but in this one he was just so mean and then apologize and do the same thing again. He did it so many times. I was so annoyed by him, and I'm sad. Okay, I'm sad that I didn't like it because I wanted to. The ending kind of like was what made me like it a little bit more. And yeah. Okay, I didn't tell you what this is about. The book follows Ellie and Raphael. Ellie is Raphael's son, Nanny, but she knew him from like high school, and she's had a crush on him since she was in high school, and that part was fun. And Raphael, he's sort of love. He doesn't believe in it. He doesn't want to get married and anything, which is the opposite to Ellie. Ellie does want to, and they just start doing things together, and like they start just falling in love throughout the whole book. What I did like about this book, because there were things that I liked, Ellie's relationship with Nico and Raphael, like afterwards, like when they were like happy, when it was like much better, like in the ending and everything, when the book got better. Okay, I enjoyed that part. I enjoyed Raphael's character development as a dad and acting as a father, not a father figure, but like acting as Nico's father. I enjoyed that because like the relationship was kind of like not good just because of how Raphael was acting and how he was feeling and how that he didn't let anyone in. I enjoyed that part. My thing was like the beginning was too much and I was just over the book and I wanted to get it over with, that it took away from the good things. And the last book that we read is Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. This is Annabelle's newest release and this was such a fun summer book. I love the whole idea of a summer romance, which I enjoy so much about this book. I gave this a 4 stars. I like the other one more, but this book, it tackles so many things. This is about Ali, whose life is a mess. She's still in grief because her mom died. She's going through a divorce. She's dealing with motherhood and being a single mom and finding herself. And there were so many things that this book tackles in just this many pages, which I enjoyed about Annabelle, because this book is such a short book, but at the same time it has so many things, but it doesn't feel like it's too much when you're reading it. Her writing, it's beautiful. How the character development and how Ali just gets better and gets her life together. I love that. Ethan, Ethan just, I love how he helped her and their friendship, and it's not even that he wanted something back, he just helped her because he was such a good person and he liked her as a friend and everything. I enjoyed this book so much about just them, and it was so cute, and just Ethan making her feel better. This book just feels more than a romance, how it deals with like self-exploration, and the characters are going through such a hard time and they're having to do things that are difficult of adulthood, and how things are just hard. They find happiness in small things and not only finding love in someone else but also in yourself. Ethan is such a good friend for her and also afterwards a partner, and how he just supports her throughout everything and how she also supports her. And I also love the communication and chemistry in this book. They just knew and they talked to each other and understood each other and that things are happening. Actually, I'm thinking about it and I would change my rating to a 4.25. That's all for today, guys. I am so excited for which books I will be reading in July and what videos are coming. So if you enjoyed the video, please like it, go comment, subscribe and everything. Thank you so much for staying and listening to me ranting about books that I like or I didn't like, and I'll hopefully see you in the next one.